Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Let's come to a comfortable seated position at the top of our mat and just gently close your eyes, relaxing your breathing, softening your face, relaxing those forehead muscles, relaxing those eyebrows, softening and unclenching your jaw, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth maybe, relaxing those shoulders, down the back of down your back, and just breathing slowly, calmly, naturally, in and out through your nose. Finding a little peace before we get going, letting go of anything that may have happened to you so far today, and just centering yourself on this mat, letting go and breathing. We're going to start with a short breathing exercise, just 4 breaths in, a 4 breath hold, and a 4 breath exhale, and I will walk you through it, keeping your eyes closed and breathing in and out through your nose. Just inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale in for 2, 3, 4, and hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. One more round here. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 2, 3, 4. Nice job. Now just finding your regular breath here, breathing in and out through the nose, settling into a comfortable breathing pattern, keeping that back nice and straight, sitting upright, breathing in and out through that belly a little more, maybe placing that left hand on your belly, feeling it move up and down as you inhale and exhale, really bringing that breath more from the belly and a little less from the chest. Slowly bringing your palms to the center of your chest. And we'll just start the class with 3 ohms together. Exhaling here, breathing in together. Bowing your head down slightly, setting an intention for this class. Maybe you're looking for a little peace or calm, joy, whatever it may be. We're setting a dedication towards someone who you know who may need it, may need a little extra love today. And then just bowing your head one more time. Big inhale and exhale. And releasing those palms down towards your knees. All right, let's come into our extended child's pose position. So we're just going to extend those arms out in front of us. Bring those knees to about max distance apart, bringing that seat closer to your heels and just pushing through those palms, letting your forehead rest on the mat. Just feeling nice settling in here into that lower back. I'm going to put headphones in because I seem to have forgotten to do that. Breathing into that child's pose. Maybe swaying right and left. Working on a few kinks in that lower back. Still maintaining that nice rhythmic breathing in and out through the nose. And then gently rolling up. Coming into a tabletop position. Placing those hands directly underneath your shoulders and those knees directly underneath your hips. We're just going to do a couple rounds of cat-cow to warm up that spine. So on your next inhale, gazing up towards the ceiling, flexing the inward flexation of that back, gazing up, and then exhale, gazing at your navel, rounding that back in your cat position. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into that cow position, releasing those shoulders away from those ears, letting that spine fall heavy to that concave motion, and then flexing that back upward, rounding that back, gazing at that belly in your cat position. 2 more rounds. Inhale. And exhale back into cat. Last inhale. Gazing up and exhale. Rounding that back. Nice job. We're just going to come into a neutral spine here in that tabletop position. Keeping those fingertips spread wide apart. We're just going to rotate that body weight gently over those wrists in a clockwise direction, kind of warming up those wrist joints, getting ready for the rest of class. Continuing your breath here, nice and soft, just settling in, warming up, and reversing that rotation in a counterclockwise direction. Maybe flipping those hands to face you so that those fingertips are facing your feet. Palms are flat on the mat, and then just rotating backwards and forwards a little bit, going a little bit deeper into the front of those arms, the back front of those arms, and also still warming up those wrists a little bit. Bringing those hands forward again, underneath your shoulders, just pressing that right foot back, pressing the ball of the foot into the mat, just slowly rocking back and forth, kind of flexing, maybe pointing that foot a little bit so you can get into the sole of that foot, and then lifting that leg up off the ground and just rotating that foot around to warm up that ankle in a clockwise direction, and then in a counterclockwise direction. Placing that knee back down, placing that left foot back, pressing the ball of that foot into the ground, and just pressing forward and backward, shifting that weight forward and back. Warming up the back of that foot, the heel, the sole of the foot, a little bit of that calf. And then coming back up, lifting that leg up, and just slowly rotating that ankle around in a clockwise direction, rotating, lubricating those joints, getting that ankle ready for the rest of class, switching that rotation to the other side, and then bringing that knee back down. We're going to thread the needle here, so bring that right arm all the way up to your side. Inhale, roll out that wrist a little bit one way, and then the other. Maybe taking a couple of big shoulder rolls here with that arm in one direction, and then reversing that direction, warming up those shoulders. Ending at the top with a big inhale, and exhale, threading the needle, bringing that right arm underneath that left shoulder, letting your head rest on the mat. You can bring that left arm out in front of you if you'd like, stretching that out, staying right here. Just breathing into it. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bring that arm around you into a little bind here. Maybe bringing that left leg out. If you want to do a little deeper stretch here, straightening that left leg out to the right, and just breathing into this here for a couple breaths.
slowly bringing that leg back in. If you've extended it, bringing that left arm back to the mat. Inhaling as you bring that right arm all the way back up, and exhaling as you bring it down. Switching to the other side. Inhaling as you lift that left arm up, rotating that wrist both directions. Again, warming up that wrist joint. Maybe a couple of big shoulder rolls, warming up that shoulder, that rotator cuff, reversing that direction. And on your next inhale, meeting up at the top, and exhale, bringing that left arm underneath that right shoulder. You can stay right here, resting that head on the mat, and just breathing into this nice stretch. You can extend that right arm out in front of you if you'd like, or maybe wrap it around your lower back. You can stay right here, or the last option, you can bring that right foot out to the side and just stay right here, breathing into this for a few breaths. And when you're ready, releasing that bind, bringing that right hand down to the mat, bringing that right foot in. Gently inhaling, bringing that left arm all the way up, and exhaling as you bring it back down. We're just going to come into our Sphinx pose now, so bringing those forearms all the way down with those elbows underneath your shoulders. We're just going to come and lay flat on the mat with our bellies, making sure those elbows again are underneath those shoulders. We're in our Sphinx pose here. Just take a nice inhale as you breathe and look up towards the ceiling, or sky, wherever you are. And on your next exhale, looking over your right shoulder, getting a nice little twist here, breathing into this on the right side. And on your next exhale, coming back to center, looking up towards that ceiling. And exhaling, looking over that left shoulder, getting a twist on that opposite side. Taking a few breaths here. Nice way to warm up that lower back. And then just inhaling back to center, pushing those palms down into the mat and gently kind of pulling yourself forward. And exhale, coming all the way down, sliding those hands underneath your shoulders. You can press up onto those knees or into your plank position and pushing back into that full downward dog. Our first downward dog here, pressing those palms fully into the mat. Your feet are about hips distance apart. Trying to press those heels down to the mat, maybe pedaling those feet out a little bit, maybe rocking back and forth. This is your first downward dog of the day probably, so just finding your way into it, whatever feels good. Once you find a little bit of comfort, just stay there in a static hold. Take a couple of deep breaths, in and out through your nose, starting to find that Ujjayi breath. Ocean-like breath in the back of your throat. And on your next exhale, gazing up, walking those feet up to the top of the mat, in between those hands, and then exhaling, dropping that head, letting your head hang heavy. Maybe those knees are bent. It's still early, we're still warming up. Maybe that belly is resting on your chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, bringing those arms all the way up overhead, gazing at the ceiling. And exhale, Samasthiti. We'll start with a few sun salutations. Sun salutation A's. So starting in your standing position here, Samasthiti. Inhale, both arms up, gazing up at the ceiling. Exhale, coming all the way down, forward fold, letting your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, placing those hands flat on the mat, walking or stepping those feet back into a plank position, or maybe your knees are down. Exhaling down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. If you're still warming up that upper back, just take it lightly here. Maybe bring those knees down to the mat instead of a full chaturanga. Come into your cobra pose instead of your full upward dog. until you feel like you're ready to come into that full series. On your next exhale, gazing up towards the top of the mat, stepping or jumping both legs through. Exhale, letting your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, bringing both arms up, gazing up overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, coming all the way down, forward fold, letting your head hang heavy, gazing at that navel. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, placing both palms flat on the mat, stepping or jumping back into that plank pose. Maybe your knees are down. Maybe you come into that cobra or that upward facing dog. And then exhaling into your downward facing dog. Hold here for 5 breaths. Really pressing those palms down into the mat. Those fingertips should be a little bit white. This is an active position. Really pressing through those heels. It's okay if those heels aren't all the way flat on the mat. This is early in class. They may never get there, but just keep trying. Getting a nice stretch up and down those calves, those ankles, the back, getting up into that hamstring a little bit. And on your next exhale, gazing up, walking or stepping both legs through to the top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling all the way down. Inhale, raising both arms up. And exhale, Samasthiti, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, sitting back into that chair pose, bringing both hands up overhead, gazing at those thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, placing those hands on the mat, stepping or jumping back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that right leg forward, left leg turned out. Inhale, both arms up into Warrior A. And exhale, bringing those hands down. Bringing that right foot back to meet the left, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that right leg up between your hands. Left leg up, right leg turns out 45 degrees. Inhale, both arms up, gazing at those thumbs. Warrior A. Exhale, bringing both hands down to the mat. Bringing your left foot to meet your right, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here, pressing those feet down to those heels down towards the mat, gazing at that belly button. Really externally rotating those shoulders out to the sides, pressing through those palms and those fingertips. Really pressing into that L shape of your pointer finger and your thumb. That's where the majority of that weight should be. And then on your next exhale, gazing up at the top of the mat, walking or stepping both legs through to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, Samasthiti. Excuse me. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, placing both hands on the mat, stepping or jumping back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring that right leg forward. Left leg turns out to 45 degrees. Inhale, both arms up, Warrior A. Exhale, bringing those hands down to the mat, bringing that right foot to meet the left. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that left foot up, right leg out to 45 degrees. Inhaling, both arms up, Warrior A. And exhale, bringing both hands down. Stepping that left foot to meet the right. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Holding here for another 5 breaths. On our next inhale, exhale, or on our next series, we're going to do some add-ons and modifications. So really get ready for a little bit more movement and a little more flow. On your next exhale, gazing towards the top of the mat, stepping or jumping both legs to meet those hands. Inhaling, use them. Inhaling and exhaling all the way down. Inhaling into your chair pose and exhaling, Namaste to heat. Okay, adding on. Inhale, sitting back into that chair pose, gazing up at those thumbs. Exhale, folding over, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, placing both palms on the mat, stepping or jumping back into your plank position, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that right leg up to meet those hands. Left foot comes out to 45 degrees. Inhaling, both arms up, warrior A. Let's just stay here for a few breaths, gazing up, really perfecting this form here. Sinking down a little lower to that front knee, straightening those arms a little higher. And on your next exhale, opening up into your warrior B. Maybe lengthening those legs a little bit further apart, keeping those hips square underneath those shoulders, gazing over that front middle finger. Staying here for a few breaths, sinking a little bit deeper if you can into that front leg, really pushing through that outer edge of that back foot. Exhale, and on your next inhale, flipping that front palm up and just rotating back into your reverse warrior. Feeling like one straight line all the way through that front side body to the tips of that top finger. And then waterfalling those arms back to the front, bringing that right leg back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that left leg forward, right foot back, 45 degrees. Inhale, both arms up, warrior A, holding here. Keep breathing, gazing up at those thumbs, sinking a little deeper, again, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot, keeping those hips nice and square to the front of the room. Maybe adjust them if you need to. And on your next exhale, opening up into your warrior B, maybe separating those legs a little further apart, sinking down further into that front knee, making sure that chest and shoulders are square over your hips, gazing over that middle finger. And on your next inhale, flipping that palm to the top of the room. Inhaling up overhead, reaching through those fingertips, feeling a nice stretch in the front of the side body. Gazing up at those fingertips. Big inhale and exhale here, reverse warrior. And on your next exhale, waterfalling those hands down around that foot, bringing that left foot to meet the right, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. You can always come into child's pose if you need a rest or if it serves you better. We're going to take 5 breaths here. Whatever feels good to you. On your next exhale, we're going to gaze up towards the top of the mat. Step or jump those feet in between those hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, sitting back into that chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. Adding on. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bringing both palms down to the mat, stepping or jumping back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that right foot in between those hands into your warrior A. Exhaling into warrior B. Inhale into that reverse warrior. And exhale, bringing both arms up above you into that crescent lunge facing the front of the room. We're just gonna stay here. Inhaling as we extend up. Exhaling, bringing those arms back into a cactus position. Inhaling, straightening that front leg, bringing those hands up. Exhaling, bringing everything down into that lunge position. Inhale up, and exhale, coming back down. 2 more. Inhale up, exhaling down. Inhale up, and exhaling down. Inhale, coming back to that regular crescent lunge position. And on your next exhale, we're gonna bring that left leg back, left leg up to wrap around that right leg. Bring that left arm underneath that right into your eagle pose position. Keeping those elbows in line with those shoulders. Breathing here, maybe sinking a little bit lower if you can. Finding that ujjayi breath, finding your drishti, that focus point that you're looking at right in front of you, helping with your balance. If you are balanced and you feel ready, you can sink down a little bit lower, bringing those elbows to those knees. And then slowly coming back up. Gently unraveling those arms, unraveling that leg, keeping that knee lifted. We're going to just hinge forward at the waist, maybe taking that left hand on your left hip, bringing that right hand down, opening up to face the side of the room into your half moon position. Inhaling and as you come into it, and then exhaling as you settle in. Taking a couple deep breaths here, in and out through your nose, finding that drishti again, that focus point on that wall or mirror, whatever you're looking at. Maybe if you're feeling good, you can reach back for that ankle and gently pull it back towards you, coming into your half moon bow pose. Gently releasing that foot, bringing that, coming back into that half moon position. And falling back into your warrior B on your next inhale. Inhale, coming into that reverse warrior, waterfalling those arms down on either side of that right foot, coming back into your chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that left leg forward, right leg out to 45 degrees. Inhaling all the way up, warrior A. Exhale, warrior B. Inhale into that reverse warrior. Exhale, inhale as you land into that crescent lunge position, facing the front of the room. We're gonna do those little lunges here, so inhale as you lengthen up. Exhale as you lower that knee and bring those hands, arms into cactus position. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Nice job. Straighten that front leg as you come up. And exhale. Last one here. Inhale and exhale. Hold it. Coming back into that crescent lunge position. On your next exhale, swinging that back leg forward, wrapping it around that front leg, bringing that right arm underneath that left into that eagle arm position. You can stay right here, find your drishti up ahead. Breathe into it. If you're feeling balanced, you can bring those elbows to those knees, gazing at a point a little bit in front of you on the floor. And inhaling back up. Unraveling those legs and arms, bringing that right knee to hover in front of you, right arm is on your hip. We're just gonna bring that left arm down a little bit in front of that left foot, opening up to the right side, coming into our half moon pose here. You can use a block if you need it down below underneath your left hand. Stay right here, or if you're feeling balanced, you can reach for that ankle and gently pull it behind you, coming into that half moon bow pose position. Inhale, gently releasing, and exhale, coming back into that warrior B. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, waterfalling those arms down to the mat, bringing that left foot to meet the right, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing into it here, maybe coming into a child's pose. We have one more series, a little bit faster, a little more to your breath, with a few more add-ons, and then we'll be on the floor for the rest of the class. So coming back up into that downward dog, gazing up towards the top of the mat, stepping or jumping both feet through, Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling all the way down. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Last round here. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that right leg through. Left foot out to 45 degrees. Inhaling, warrior A. Exhale into warrior B. Inhale into that reverse warrior. Exhale as you come up, land into that crescent lunge. Inhaling here. Exhale, bringing that back leg forward, wrapping it around that top leg. Left leg comes around, bottom of that right arm. Holding here. Exhaling into that half moon position. Facing that left wall. And exhale, coming back down into that warrior B. This time, let's just turn those toes in, ankles out, so we're facing the left-hand wall. We're gonna place those hands on our hips. Inhale as we look up, and exhale as we fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Letting that head hang heavy. Letting a nice stretch on the back of those quads, back of those hamstrings. You can either keep those hands right underneath your shoulders, maybe walk them back a little bit if you'd like. You can reach for those heels or those ankles. Just breathing here. This is also your opportunity to do a few inversions. If you'd like to do your tripod headstand or headstand, you can go into that now. Whatever feels good to you today. Just taking a little bit more time here. Take any modifications you would like. You can add a twist if you'd like on each side. If you're in an inversion, coming slowly back down. Everybody meeting with your hands underneath your shoulders. We're gonna lift up halfway with an inhale and then exhale into Skandasana on the right hand side. Bringing those left toes so they're facing towards the ceiling. Inhale. Pressing that left arm up overhead, pressing that right elbow into that right knee to just open up that groin a little more, looking up at that left hand. And then exhale, bringing that hand down, turning to face the front of the room in your low lunge position, taking that right foot to meet the left, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing that left foot forward, right foot out to 45 degrees. Inhaling, both arms up. Exhale into warrior B. Inhale, bringing that top arm overhead into a reverse warrior. Exhale, swinging both arms up in front of you into that crescent lunge. Inhale here. And on that next inhale, bringing that back leg forward, wrapping it around that left leg, bringing that right arm underneath that right into your eagle position. Inhale and exhale here. And on your next exhale, gently unraveling those arms, bringing that leg behind you, bringing that left leg just slightly in front of that left toe into your half moon position facing the right hand side. Inhale and exhale here. And on your next exhale, gently stepping back into your warrior B. And then turning those feet to the right to face the right hand side of the room. Toes in, ankles out. Hands on your hips, gazing up at the ceiling. Taking those hands behind your back, clasping those hands, gazing up. And exhaling as you fall forward. Slowly bringing those arms over your head as far as you can. Breathing into it here for a couple breaths. Gently releasing those hands, slowly coming back up, halfway, and then falling on the left hand side into that Skandasana pose with your right toes facing the ceiling. Left hand is flat on the mat with your elbow pressing into that knee. Right arm comes up, behind you, gazing up at that hand, opening up that inner groin area, just breathing into this here. And on your next exhale, bringing that right hand down, turning to face the front of your mat in that low lunge position, stepping that left foot back to meet the right, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And your next exhale, gazing up at the top of the mat, stepping or jumping both legs to meet those hands. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling all the way down. Inhale, chaturanga dandasana, utkatasana. Exhale, samasthiti. Nice job. We'll come into a few standing postures here, and then we'll head down to the floor. So, we're gonna come into our tree pose. So just find a nice, sturdy position on that left foot. We want all that weight to be centered in the middle of that left foot. We're gonna place that left hand on that left hip, slowly bringing that right heel up to that inner right thigh, inner left thigh, pressing that knee out so that we're squaring those hips to the front of the room, bringing those hands to a prayer position here, just breathing. You can stay right here. If you want an extra challenge, we can bring those hands up overhead. Maybe we separate those hands. Maybe you look up slightly. Maybe you look up even more, testing that balance. Maybe you close your eyes for a few seconds. Just breathing into it wherever it feels most comfortable for you. Really working on that balance, that drishti, finding that ujjayi breath, that belly breathing, and then bringing those hands back to center, bringing that right foot to the front of the room, and then holding it there, bringing your right hand to your right hip, left hand up, reaching back for that right ankle with that right hand. Inhale here and exhale, extending forward into your full dancer pose. Pressing into that back foot, pressing that back foot into that hand. Reaching through that left arm. And exhale, slowly coming back up, releasing that leg and that hand. Shake it out a little bit, getting that other side. Putting all that weight centered onto the center, the middle of that right foot. All four corners of that foot are square onto the mat. We're just gonna slowly grab the ankle, that left ankle, pushing that left heel into that inner right thigh. I like to press that right knee out, that left knee out just a little bit to keep my hips nice and square. Bringing your hands to prayer. Again, you have options. You can stay here. You can bring your hands up overhead. You can open your hands. You can gaze up. You can close your eyes. Many ways to go. Find your peace. Come back to your intention. Gently bringing those hands back to center. Bringing that left foot, hovering it in front of you. Extending that right arm up, bringing that left arm back to meet that right foot, grabbing onto that ankle somewhere, that inside of that ankle, the inside of that foot. Inhale as you extend up, and exhale as you open up into your dancer position. Pressing that foot into that back hand, reaching through that right hand. And a nice little back bend here. And as you exhale, bringing everything back down. Samasthiti. Nice job. Shake it out a little bit. All right, one last vinyasa and we'll meet on the floor. So inhale, both arms up. And exhale, coming all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, placing those palms flat on the mat, step or jump it back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here, and we're just gonna come into our puppy pose. So dropping those knees to the mat, keeping those hips high, dropping that chin, looking towards those hands, maybe pressing those hands a little bit more forward. Just breathing into this here a little bit. And then slowly sliding yourself forward, coming onto your belly. Those feet should be about hips distance apart, bringing those arms right out in front of you, kind of like an airplane, or not like an airplane, like Superman, sorry. Then we're just going to let your forehead rest on the mat, Take a big inhale. As you inhale, raise those arms up in front of you. Breathing in and out through your nose. Heating up that upper back. One more breath here. And exhaling those hands and that head down. This time we're just going to lift the head and the feet. So on your next inhale, raise those feet, raise that head up. Engaging those lower back muscles, those seat muscles. Breathing into it. One more breath here. And exhale, bringing everything down. On your next inhale, we're going to bring both the hands and the feet and the head up all at the same time into full Superman position. So exhale here and inhale. Raising everything up and hold. Keep breathing. One more breath here. And exhale all the way down. Resting for just a moment. We're going to bring those arms back so that they're next to our sides, next to our legs. We're going to fold those legs, bend those knees in towards us. Grab each ankle with each hand and come into full bowl pose if you can. So exhale here, and on your next inhale, we're going to rise up and push those feet, those ankles into those hands. You're kind of balancing on your belly, kind of rocking back and forth as you inhale and exhale here. Nice big back bend. One more breath. And exhale all the way down, bringing your ears, your right side of your head down to the mat, just letting everything hang heavy, releasing and breathing. I'm going to do that one more time. Coming back to the center of your mat, forehead is down, reaching for those ankles at the tops of those feet. On your next inhale, rising up, keeping those knees kind of pressed as close together as you can. 2 deep breaths here. One more. And exhaling all the way down. Bringing that opposite ear to the mat. Letting those head hang, those feet rest and melt down into the ground. Fully relaxed here. Then bringing those hands underneath your shoulders, gently rolling yourself up. One vertebra at a time, pressing yourself back. We're just gonna slide those feet forward, coming into a seated position, bringing those feet straight out in front of you. Let's bring that right foot into that left inner thigh. Janusarasana A, inhaling both arms up. Exhale as we reach for those feet, either those toes, the ball of that foot, the ankle, the calf. Wherever you're at today, just getting an opposing stretch here for all those back bends we just did. Maybe you're gazing at your feet, maybe you're letting your head hang heavy, whatever feels good right here. Just breathing into this through your nose and finding that peace, going to your intention, quieting that mind. Inhale, coming back up. We're just gonna stay in this position, bring that right foot over that left knee. You can swing that left foot back if you'd like, so you're in like a seated pretzel. Bring your right hand behind the middle of your back. Inhale your left arm up and just twist over to the right, bringing that elbow into that knee. Exhaling as you look behind you. Inhaling as you lengthen and exhaling as you twist. Slowly releasing that twist, coming back to the center of your mat, untwisting those legs, bringing them straight out in front of you, bringing your left heel into that right inner thigh, knees out to 90 degrees, Janusarasana A on the left. Inhale and exhale, reaching reaching for that foot, those toes, that ankle, maybe your knee is slightly bent. Whatever you can do here to get your best stretch. Letting that head hang heavy and just breathing into this. Cooling down a little bit. And your next exhale, inhale, coming back up. Bringing that left foot over that right knee. You can bend that opposite leg so you're in that seated twist position. Bringing that left hand behind the center of your back. Right hand reaches up. Extending that right elbow over that left knee. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you twist, looking behind that back shoulder. Really breathing into this, really lengthen on those inhales, twisting a little deeper on those exhales. Coming back to center, releasing those legs. We're just gonna lay back flat on our mat now. You can just bringing those legs up the wall. You can stay right here. This is a fabulous position with those heels, ankles right over those hips. If you want to go further, you can come up into a full shoulder stand, keeping those elbows as close together as you can, resting those hands on your lower back, balancing those hips, those feet right over those hips. Legs are nice and straight. Keep breathing, gazing up at those toes. Couple of deep breaths here. If you're staying with your legs up the wall, that's perfectly great. If you want, you can lower those legs slowly over your head, keeping those legs as straight as possible, trying to get those toes to touch above your head. If those legs are straight and your toes are touching, you can clasp those hands behind your back and reach forward. Again, breathing into this, keeping those hips stacked right over your seat, stacked right over those hips, sorry. And then you could soften those knees if you'd like, ear pinning pose. Breathing into this, wrapping those knees close to those ears. Big inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Everybody meeting up in happy baby pose, grabbing the outside edges of those feet and just rocking from right to left. Getting a nice lower back massage here. And then bringing that right leg into your chest, extending that left leg forward. We're just gonna bring that right knee over to the left, extending that right arm out, looking over that right shoulder, getting a nice twist here. Breathing into it. Bringing that right knee back out, extending that leg straight, bringing that left knee into your chest, twisting over to the right side, looking over your left shoulder this time, and just breathing into this on the opposite side. Coming back to center. Bringing both knees into your chest one last time, wrapping your arms all the way around your knees, giving yourself a nice big squeeze, the biggest, tightest squeeze. Inhale and exhale, extending those legs out, nice distance apart, bringing those arms to your sides, falling into Shavasana pose. Well deserved Shavasana, letting your head melt into the mat, your full body is just melting down, feeling like one with the earth, getting into that fully relaxed state, regulating that breath. a total state of relaxation. When you're ready, you can slowly start to come out of this relaxation by really gently wiggling those fingers and those toes, moving them around slightly, waking up the body, and gently bringing those arms up overhead, bringing those feet together, giving yourself a full body stretch here. Big inhale and exhale. And on your next exhale, rolling over to one side, whatever feels most comfortable, letting your head rest on your arm and a pillow to pillow. Staying here for a moment. And when you're ready, gently pushing yourself up with that hand. Coming up to the center of your mat in a comfortable seated position. Again, keeping those eyes closed. Bringing those hands to your knees. Settling into the most comfortable seated position you can find. Bringing those hands to a prayer position in front of your heart. We'll end the class with one Om all together. Exhaling to prepare. Inhaling. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Bowing your head slightly. Thank you so much for making your way to your mat today, sharing your beautiful practice with me and everyone here, sharing your beautiful energy, your light, and your love. Thank you so, so much. Namaste. Thank you for coming to my class today, you guys. It was a pure joy to have you. I really enjoyed it. Any comments, feedback, constructive criticism, I'm open to it all. So if you have any questions or anything or any concerns, please let me know. My name is Robin, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.